Hi, I'm Cash. Welcome to Cash Talks Football. With my over 20 plus years of coaching experience, I like to break things down on the football field, goals scored for and against teams in the Premier League. I might even do some bit of Champions League coming up as well. But generally I focus on goals, but I'm not going to do that so much in this Arsenal game. I will cover the goal, but I'm going to hit some more coaching points here and show you some other things that you can use and pay attention to, whether or not you're playing football or you're trying to coach it, so your players don't make the same stupid mistakes as these Everton players. Okay, so right now, as we can see, this guy, he ends up turning up to being offside. You can see him right there. Okay, he ends up being offside. Fine. But that isn't my problem. This is my problem. This is just awful, and I mean awful coaching. All of the Everton teams stop. We'll play this forward. Watch this. Bosch goes through. He's offside. They're not sure if he's offside, but he's coming back. Everyone stops and raises their hand. They could have won the ball and counter-attacked. They could have just won the ball counter. Look at him. He's got his hand up like a muppet. Mum, can you please tell him off? Because I would like the ball back, please. When you see Premier League players that have their hand up and stop, the two factors, not just having their hand up and stop, they're absolutely not worth having on your team in any way, shape or form, because they're too busy complaining to the referee than focused on their job. They can't do both things. They cannot referee the game and focus on their task. Their task in the Premier League is a little bit hard. I don't know if you know that, because if it wasn't, everyone would be able to do it, and they can't. So they need to be focusing on that task, not the referee's task. The only one on there that should be worried about that would be the manager and assistant manager on the sideline dealing with it. And that's where there's no trust. You know that the team doesn't trust their manager to actually deal with that situation, because if they did, that wouldn't be a problem. Because if that's my team wouldn't even bat an eyelid, because they know I'd be dealing with that, and they don't have to. They have to deal with what their job is, which is the game, which is a very, very important aspect. Right, let's move this forward and see what else we can see. But now you see everyone's out of position and all the stuff just from that one little mistake. That's what I wanted to show you. There's another VAR thing I want to cover before I get to the goal, but let's just keep moving and I'll get to the VAR thing next. Let's go. Okay, now there's two takes here. There's what I actually think and what I think the Premier League take is, okay? So here's the one. This is a non-penalty coming up here. However, in the other game with Newcastle, this was a penalty, but it was in a worse circumstance because the player was running off the field. He kicked the ball and he ran off the field. Well, the ball was out of the gate and he got a penalty for it. If my video for that's not out yet, have a look when that comes out and you'll see my take on that as well. But that's why I'm reviewing this little non-penalty here. Because if this was any other sort of team, and it wasn't Everton, I think they would have got this penalty. Let's have a look. Let's move this forward. In comes the runner. He's running in, not doing anything special. No real danger of a threat. But watch what happens next. As he goes forward, Bosch, he runs into the player and he goes over. And the problem is, that's exactly what the other guy did with the goalkeeper in the Newcastle game. And that's not given. Personally, I don't believe it's a penalty, and I don't believe the other one was a penalty. The problem is you've got two inconsistencies now. You've got someone in Newcastle United who are getting a penalty at home, and because they've got big money behind their team. Someone in Everton that don't. Well, okay, they've got money, but they're not getting the penalty. And that's when questions start to get asked, when VAR's inconsistent, and all of this thing just gets thrown out of the window. Just because there's two similar penalties, two similar incidences, two different outcomes. Right, let's get on to the goal, because I quite like the goal. Okay, this is not a bad setup. Two people on the corner here. But if anyone knows anything or listen to my channel at all, here's the problem that I'd be covering. Okay, and it sounds silly, but this is a massive problem. As a defensive team or an attacking team, he's okay. He's close enough. I'd want a defender in here, but if you're attacking, I'm happy with you, buddy, because you're covering this area, which I think is one of the most dangerous areas. All right, is this decent here? Yes, this is not bad. We've got 2v2 here, and if you haven't had two people taking a corner or understand the method behind this, remember what I just said. Understanding the method behind it. It isn't just about taking the corner with two people here. It's about why you're doing it, how you're creating the space, and what these two players actually are intending to do. Because there's only a couple of outcomes. It's like playing chess or, tic-tac-toe. You have to make a move. That means we're going to do the thing that beats you. No matter which way you go, we've got a move that beats you. Right? If these two understand their role. And they kind of do. So let's go forward, move this forward. Bosch goes forward. Here we go. Now he's completely and utterly, he can go through because, go through. He can pass here to deliver, right? But Everton actually do all right here. The reason he doesn't pass out here, okay, there's a couple, but more importantly, this guy's completely and utterly unmarked. There isn't a single Everton player now in that whole area. Think about that. The whole area. If he had passed to him, he would have put the ball into the box where all the Everton players were. Instead, he picked out a pass to a man here who's completely and utterly unmarked. Fantastic. Well done. And remember, this is one of the things, if you're doing set plays like this, you've probably got 1 of 3 outcomes. Normally, bad coaches have 2. But as you can see, if he whips the ball in, that's a no-go. He can keep the ball, which is number 3, or put it over here. Sorry, number 2, over here for number 3. Perfect. Spots him. Goes. So it sets it up for the shot. Goes to take a touch and smash it in top of the corner of the net box. Boom, takes. Oh, what happens? Everton did something right. Takes a touch and they pressured the ball. Well done, Everton. You did a good job. You pressured the ball and you stopped him smashing it into the top corner of the net box. Fantastic. But what's the next thing they do? They go back to plan A. Right, so A was having the ball out wide. Let's see what happens next. Bump. Takes a touch. Let's recycle and start again, because we want to start the attack from our point where we knew it was out there, because we've got 3 outcomes we're looking to make happen. Number 1 couldn't come in because we couldn't put the ball in the box. They're in there. Number 2 got shut down. Let's go back to number 3. Bump. Ball goes back out wide again. We keep the ball. And this is the problem. That one Everton player there who's pressured the ball. He's the only one really switched on. He's not. He's the wrong side of him. He's completely the wrong side of him. Get goal side. Stop trying to be cute. All of a sudden, the ball goes. Bump. He's lost his man now completely. He danced behind him. Didn't think he had to pay attention. Keeps his focus on the ball. Watch what happens. Player that was pressuring the ball, running around like a headless chicken, is completely missing now the pocket that's opening up. Bump. There we go. Great little run. Bonk. Passes it into the top corner. Well done. Now he pulls it back. All round, it's a fantastic goal. Well works. You can tell it's something off the training ground, but you can see how Everton they do a couple of things right, but many things wrong as they get pulled and pushed around. Just basically chasing shadows, trying to run back into shape and not just understanding, right, now I'm out of shape. Now my shape's broken down. You saw that number 6 ran off and pressured. There he is. Now he's trying to run back to get in instead of just going, right, I'm here now. For the next 20 seconds, 30 seconds, I'm now playing here. I'm not running back to where I normally play. I'm just going to play here and cover this space and cover this man. And he doesn't. He runs off, back here to do nothing. Leaves him. Completely leaves him. Completely and utterly leaves him. Runs past him, leaves him unmarked. And that's the issue there. He does a great job pressuring the ball, coming out, and then runs back in again. And there's 2 things with that as well. This guy doesn't come back and cover because he sees this guy's there. All of a sudden, it all breaks down. Little simple mistakes. Gets punished. I'll see you next time.